you very much. First of all, I was very glad to listen to a quite optimistic introduction because I'm also an optimistic person. I share optimism, and I think that much of our future depends on our perspective. Are we optimistic or pessimistic? And indeed, Slovenia has been a success story since its independence in '91 until the end of 2008. We were seen as a huge success story. We were the first member state of the European Union to preside over the European Council. At the end of 2008, we were at 91% of average European GDP. Our public debt was very low. It was about 22.5%. So it seemed that everything went quite okay. Then, unfortunately, for different reasons, which I will not quote, and I think it's not so important today to analyze those reasons, because if you have fire in the house, it's much more important to put off fire than to analyze what are the reasons for the disaster. I think we have all the possibilities to get back on our way. I think that we all know what has to be done. There are 5 or 6 items on the agenda which are really important, which are really a priority, and it's very important to keep focused on these items. It's very important that everybody thinks about the solutions. One of the problems in Slovenia is that instead of thinking how to do things, how to improve, how to solve problems, many people somehow invest their energy into finding reasons why something is not possible, why some idea which was suggested by someone is not good, is wrong, and so on. Today, it's not so much about will we use this or that tool for putting off fire. The important thing is to act, and to act very quickly. So what has to be done? First of all, we have to recover our image of a reliable country, of a reliable state. For that, we need political stability. This is very important. In this perspective, only good messages should reach our partners, the financial markets and the international community, that we have a stable coalition that will last for another 3 years and knows exactly what has to be done, that puts away all the issues which are not relevant at this moment, like, for instance, in ideological issues, the questions of our past, and so on. We have to work on fiscal consolidation. As I said, our public debt was quite low at the end of 2008. Today it is very critical, so we have to stop it, and we have to consolidate public finance. This is priority number 2. This has been launched. The revision of the budget for this year has reduced the budget from the deficit from 6% to 3%, and it will go on in 2013 and 2014. This is very important. Regardless whether the golden fiscal rule is introduced in the constitution or not. This is not so important. I was in Estonia on Monday and Tuesday, and I saw it is a country who did not introduce a golden fiscal rule in the constitution, but they act according to it. So they have no deficit, their public debt is very low, 8% of GDP, and they don't care about constitutional amendments. They are devoted to financial discipline. Number 3 is rehabilitation of the banking system. The banking system should support the economy. It doesn't matter whether the banks are state-owned or privately owned. It is important that the cow gives milk. It's not so important whether it is black or white. The next thing, of course, are the necessary reforms that everybody expects and are important for our competitiveness. pension reform and labor law reform. They have already been launched. They are now in discussion with the trade unions, and I think they can be adopted by the end of this year. And there are, of course, many other things to be done, but these are probably the most important ones that the world, the international community, the financial markets are expecting at the present moment, and we should focus on that. We should be constructive, we should be cooperative, and deliver. Well, first of all, of course, I have to say that I agree that the politicians should listen to successful managers and owners of successful companies. Just yesterday evening, we had in Maribor a round table attended by 3 very, very successful managers. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was listening to them. I was listening to very inspiring speeches, which were again oriented very optimistically. They were actually not complaining so much about the situation. They were not too critical. Their view on the future was not black. They were not criticizing. They were not pessimistic. They were simply telling what the recipe for their success was. And we were sitting there and we were listening, and we thought probably we should do the same. And one of the basic messages was again the question of optimistic attitude and the issue of collaboration. I think that in Slovenian politics there is really a serious problem, lack of cooperation. When somebody gives an idea, proposes a new project, whatever, a new law, a constitutional amendment or whatever, the rest, the other parties, the other politicians are not oriented into looking at the bright side of the proposal and making efforts to improve it, to add some value and to reach a decision. But mainly their energy is invested in seeking for deficiencies, in seeking for weak points, and so on. This is one of our biggest problems in the politics. If we cooperated more, it would be good for all political parties. All political parties would profit. Our ratings would be much better. And this is probably one of the most important things that we have to realize. If we cooperate, it will not only be better it will be better for the country, it will be better for the nation, and it will be better also for the political parties. Oh, everything that has been said, and plus that we as nations, Slovenes, have survived for more than 1,000 years in very, very difficult circumstances under different masters. We only have our own statehood since 1991, so a little bit more than 20 years. We have survived everything. The circumstances were very difficult. Compared to those circumstances, today we are living in idyllic circumstances. So we are survivors, and we are somebody that you can rely on, that we will survive, we will go on, and we will make it.